Operation Bodyguard. During Operation Bodyguard, the Allied states were under the leadership of Lieutenant Colonel David Strangeways, created a diversion to invade the Nazi forces led by the General Lieutenant Dietrich Kreis. Since it was not a battle, there were no weapons used, but the Allied states used decoy parachuting dummies and inflatable tanks to throw off the Germans. Operation Bodyguard was begun as soon as the Allied forces selected Normandy as a landing spot for Operation Overlord, also known as D-Day. Operation Bodyguard was made up of 5 smaller decoy operations. Operation Fortitude, Graham, Royal Flush, Zeppelin, and Vendetta. Operation Fortitude was split into 2 phases, south and north. Their objective was to convince the Germans of 2 different landing spots for D-Day, one in Norway and the other in France. It also made the Allied troops seem larger than they actually were to spread the German troops. Graham consisted of British meeting Swedish representatives to request land to refuel. It was not actually needed, but it was used to make the Germans believe that there would be an attack in Norway. Royal Flush was used to make the Germans believe that the Swedish were joining the Allied states and being stripped of their neutrality. In the end, Royal Flush and Graham worked as the Germans sent 400,000 troops to Norway, leading them away from Normandy. Zeppelin tricked the Germans into thinking there would be an invasion in Greece, and the final operation, Vendetta, which was the equal to Royal Flush, was used to make the Germans believe an attack on France by making them believe that Spain would join the Allies. As a result, Normandy landings were a success, and the German leaders were still convinced even after the attacks. The Allied forces won because they tricked the German forces. As Operation Bodyguard was a diversion plan, there was no combat, so there were no casualties, although it did lead to the 500,000 casualties in Operation Overlord. Operation Bodyguard was very important because it distracted the German forces away from Normandy by using false information and false armies to take them away from Normandy. It fooled Hitler, and in the end, it opened up a way to the Normandy landings, and Operation Overlord was a success. And that was Operation Bodyguard.